this is Monkey here, and welcome back to Monkey Magic Gaming. And you may notice a face next to me. You've heard the voice, but you've never seen his face. It's Crimson.
Hey everybody.
You've heard him scream and laugh on my channel many times before, but now you actually get to see his face.
It's true. It's scary.
It
You gotta
is.
see.
What are we doing tonight, though?
That's a good question. What are we doing tonight?
We are doing a segment that has been planned for a while now, and we are doing it on Halloween, which is called Here for the Booze. What we are going to be doing tonight is we are going to be reading ghost stories and different kinds of horror kind of stories back and forth between each other while we have cocktails to just progressively get more drunk. Drink responsibly, people, because we definitely won't be. But we're gonna show you the different cocktails. We're gonna see how this goes, and we're gonna film all 4 episodes tonight. So we're gonna get progressively drunker as this goes. You guys are gonna see these periodically uploaded, but you're gonna see us progressively get worse.
Much worse.
Much worse. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, let's get into it. One of the first stories we're doing tonight is on Skinwalkers. We're going to do stories back and forth. I think we got 2 stories each to get through while we have some cocktails. And you may be asking yourself, what are Skinwalkers? Well, lucky for you, I've got a nice little description of what Skinwalkers are. So, what are Skinwalkers? The legend of the Skinwalker originates from Navajo, a Southwest Native American tribe. A skinwalker is a person with the ability to transform into any different type of animal at will. So like animorphs? Like
I feel like I'm getting the animals.
yeah, definitely animorphs.
That feels
like,
disrespectful, but I definitely feel like animals.
probably a little disrespectful. But yeah, they are most frequently seen as coyotes, wolves, foxes, eagles, owls, and crows. They're not turning into magpies. Some can also steal the faces of different people and could appear as someone you know. Could you actually be a skinwalker staring at me right now? You could be an animorph, turn into whatever animal you want. That would be cool. Could I be a skinwalker? That'd be cool. But anyway, yes. While they take on many forms, many people who see them today describe them as hollowed out, dog-like animals. Okay, that bit wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah, I feel like a hollowed out dog-like animal kind of puts a downer on the whole animal business.
Yeah, the whole animorph business. That kind of like ruins it right there at the end, doesn't it?
It does.
Alright, but first cocktail we're going to be having tonight is not a cocktail, it's a shot. What is it? It's the
Witch's Brew cocktail shot.
Ooh, this is going to be fun. Well, earlier today, our lovely bartender made all these drinks and recorded them, so you guys can at home, if you want to make these crazy cocktails we're going to be having over the next 4 episodes, you can make them yourself. So, roll into that. Ooh, these do look nice. All right. And cheers.
Cheers.
How are we going to do this? We're going to take one shot each now, and then I'm going to tell a story, then we'll take two more, and then so on and so forth.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, let's do this. Oh, that's tasty.
My lips are all blue.
There you are. My tongue. We've only had one shot and we're already giggling. All right. Oh no, it turned off. All right, let's get into the first story.
That's a lot of sugar.
There's a lot of sugar, but it's tasty. All right, our first story for the night is, does this have a title? Yes, it does. Navajo Skinwalker encounter on a bus, seen on an U. All right, I totally probably read that wrong.
What are
Either
in
way.
these?
What are in those?
I'm
We saw it.
I'm concerned now.
Well,
It
already.
just started.
No, we're good. We're good. We're gonna get into it. Let's. I'm just not gonna worry about that title because I clearly read it wrong. It's all right. Probably our editor will put like the title up there, and then you'll all see how I said that wrong. But anyway, all right. Let's get into this story. Anybody that has been on a Navajo reservation has either probably heard of some creepy things, or has experienced creepy things. Start so far, namely skinwalkers. I've only seen one. Here is my story. I come from a small town in northern Arizona that's sandwiched between the Patio reservations to the north and the US largest Navajo reservation to the south. My high school being so small, a 1A high school that has on average 50 students enrolled every year, always had to travel south about 5 to 10 hours on one way to play another high school in any sport. This means that we traveled a lot on the Navajo reservation. And we also usually stayed at hotels when we would head out to play and come home in the morning. But this trip was a little bit different. That's a good start already.
Yeah,
It's a good opening and setting the mood.
that's right. I wish I knew more about the US school system now, but
Yes, I know nothing about the US school system, so that bit of the story kind of... but we'll digress. We'll keep going. All right. I remember the basketball coach saying that the school didn't have much money to put up the teams in a hotel that trip. So we were going to be on the road for a total of 12 hours. That's a long time. I was the only male senior to play basketball that season. Be the only male playing basketball that season.
the only male senior.
Oh, senior. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
All right. We had just got done playing our game and headed home on our bus, Big Blue. Yeah, that's an awesome name for a bus. All right. When we had crossed the reservation border, I noticed the bus driver had sped up and was going about 85 miles per hour. Once again, something that we don't understand in our country.
Yeah, that's.
That's like
It
how
seems
fast?
fast.
That must be fast. Like for us, that's slow, but if it was like kilometers per hour, but I bet that's fast for them. Either way, I thought this was a little weird because he had never exceeded the speed limit, at least not in my high school career for some reason. I couldn't fall asleep like the rest of my teammates, and I just sat at the back of the bus, staring out across the desolate desert landscape that was lit up by a full moon.
Always a full moon.
It's always a full moon.
Next, when I'm gonna read it, it's never gonna be a full moon.
Yeah, it'll only be a full moon for me. Is it a full moon tonight? It's a Halloween. I feel like it needs to be a full moon tonight, but I bet it's not.
Well, there was a storm.
It was a storm, thunder. It was like perfect set for our Halloween night.
I will figure it out.
We will figure it out. All right. As I looked out, I could see a figure running towards the bus at an angle of pursuit and keeping up with the bus at 85 miles per hour. Wow. Dude knows how to run on track. As the figure got closer, I saw that it was humanoid form. As a matter of fact, it looked exactly like a human. Right? Only that the face was painted half black and half white with glowing eyes. Glowing eyes like a rabbit's eyes, reflecting light from a spotlight. I immediately thought, holy crap, it's a skinwalker. The skinwalker ran up to the edge of the road and just kept up pace with the bus, hurtling sage brush and rocks were just heading up the pace with the bus, hurdling sage brush and the rocks while staring at it. After I made eye contact with the thing, I could not look away. It was as if something was holding my head and eyes in place. I felt like I was going to throw up, and I was panicking through the whole ordeal. The Skinwalker started to crumble down on all fours, still keeping up with the bus. I could see his bones crack and reform. Hair started to appear all over the Skinwalker's body, and in about 3 seconds, it was now a coyote, and it ran off back into the desert out of view.
I feel like that's a weird... Why would it come to the bus
I know.
and then leave?
Yeah, why don't I like get into the bus and try to like attack people and stuff?
Or just not go near the bus at all?
Yeah, I feel like this guy saw a coyote and he was really sleep deprived from the 12-hour drive, and he just saw a coyote, just like freaked out.
Massive sleep problem.
Yeah,
Just,
sleep
like, woke
deprived,
up
and he
was
just...
like, person. No.
And they were going super fast too. Like, he just saw a coyote and was like, no, that's definitely a Skinwalker. How do you know? I didn't know what a Skinwalker was before tonight.
I feel like if this person was Navajo, something like that, you'd have
That
an
was a
idea.
reservation.
But
Alright, there's an end bit to the story, so we'll keep going. As soon as it was gone, I ran into the onboard bathroom and pooped a mixture of food and blood. Food and blood? Alright, he's serious, something's wrong with this kid. Like,
I'm more concerned about the pooped part.
yeah. You knew I meant puked. But I'm more concerned that he was puking blood as well.
Yeah, blood is a strange
Yeah,
thing.
that I'd be worried. Alright. I didn't want to tell anyone from fear that they would think I was crazy, because you are. I confided in my Navajo friend. She told me that I needed to see the chief, who also happened to be a friend of mine, and got a blessing. I saw him the next school day in the parking lot. Go just see some old chief dude in a parking lot.
Just hanging out. Being
Just
like,
hanging
"What's
out.
up,
Like,
man?"
I'll give you a blessing, my friend. It's just a...
The old finger guns.
Alright. He just came up to me and mumbled something in Navajo while waving a feathered scepter like a thing. A feathered scepter like thing. Turned around, got in his truck and drove away. To this day, I haven't seen another Skinwalker. It might be due to the fact I moved away from that town and reservation, and if I do have to go south, I go around that way. Alright.
Well, I mean, if you move away, you probably see less of the things hanging out.
Yeah, the things that were near that Navajo reservation that you were near. I think like maybe he wasn't doing okay prior to this, like sleep deprived. He was vomiting up blood. I think he was hallucinating and seeing stuff.
Yes.
I don't think a chief coming into your parking lot after school in his truck and just... I don't know Navajo reservation stuff, but that just seems a bit sus to me.
I've also never seen Skinwalker, so
No,
not sure whether it's because I got a blessing from a Navajo chief, just like
In the
randomly.
back of, while you're a senior back in,
Yeah, I just walked out one day, truck, old dude smacked me in the head with some feathers and went, woo!
And you were good.
Never
You
saw
were
a
good to go.
Skinwalker ever again.
Never did again.
Not once.
Not once, so yeah, you were good.
Sorted.
Alright, I guess into the next story, but we need more shots for the next story,
More
don't
shots?
we? More shots! Forgot to rate that one.
Oh, we can rate it now if you want.
Yeah, let's rate that story. I don't know. I think he was just hallucinating a bit. I'm gonna give that 3 out of 5 boos.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of interesting interpretation
Yeah.
of randos in the woods, but I think I'm going to go with 2.5 boos.
Yeah.
Half.
But we have more shots to get through, more drinks that have appeared right here. Would you look at that? All right, down the hatch. Let's do this. Great as hell.
Oh.
All right, let's get into it. This is
My turn.
story number 2, and Crimson's going to be reading it. You alright?
So sugary.
So sugary.
My
Look at this.
mouth.
Look at this thing. I don't know if the camera can see it. Let me just look at that. Look at the rim of that. How sugary that is. That's old blue sugar. All right. Let's kick into it.
Alright, this next one is also a Skinwalker story. Alright. I was visiting my grandparents out in Shiprock, New Mexico during last October to see my family and go to the Northern Navajo National Fair that week. Many Navajo people, including my own family, are very reluctant to speak about skinwalkers. It is believed to attract their attention. However, I grew up away from the Navajo nation and was very naive about the subject. When it came to skinwalkers, I was absolutely skeptical. My mum used to tell a story of how back in the 80s, when she lived with her siblings and my grandparents, still in Shiprock, but on the southern outskirts. Where was I? I've already lost my voice.
It's only been 2 shots in, buddy.
About how she and my aunt saw a skinwalker just outside their driveway, under the streetlight. She described it as a black dog with dirty fur, a twisted noodle-like front leg, and unnatural eyes, with a soft burning orange glow. Me being my own closed-minded self, doubted every word. Me and my family had just finished going to a carnival at the Navajo National Fair and called it a night. Well, not off the script, but it does feel like if you see a dog at the end of your street, you're probably not seeing much.
No. It's just
It's a noodly dog.
Yeah, exactly.
What counts as unnatural dog eyes?
I know. I feel like I'm this person's story. I'm a skeptic. Are you a skeptic?
Other than being Navajo, I'm definitely a skeptic.
Yeah. Yes. I'm definitely a skeptic on these skinwalker stories. But look, continue. Keep going.
Ooh, big one.
It is.
All right. The house was close enough to where we could walk home in just about 10 minutes. So we did. When we got there, it was about 9 p.m. At night, and we stayed up till about 2 a.m. catching up with family and the local news. It was during that time that I just decidedly opened my mouth and blunt out asked the question, "Hey, are skinwalkers real, guys?" I asked. "You shouldn't be speaking about that," my grandmother said, with almost a disturbed yell in her voice. So she and my grandfather both decided to go to bed. After being scolded by my mum, or mom,
Yeah, the Americans say.
mom, M-O-M,
M-O-M.
and one of my aunts chimes in with a very cautious tone and says, "They're real, all right." Had a few start screaming outside my trailer in Farmington? Whatever. Just a few nights ago. Your cousins had nightmares the whole week and woke up crying this morning. Not wanting to push the discomfort any further, we all decided to go to bed. Now the trailer / home is pretty old and it's not very nice at night. So we slept with the windows open with screens to prevent bugs from coming in. Everyone had drifted off to sleep except for me, because my mind was still going a million miles a minute about skinwalkers, and wondered if I will ever encounter one here on the reservation.
So I'm thinking I know what's going to happen here. Grandma likes to scare all the kids and stuff, and all the grandkids and the cousins and stuff. In the middle of the night, she dresses up like a skinwalker and just roams about and startles all the kids in the middle of the night.
I thought you were going to say Granny's a nudist. Just like wandered around. Just
Don't
look outside.
Don't look outside in the middle of the night.
You are going to get a fright.
You're going to get a fright. You see those eyes in the middle of the night.
You are not prepared
Yeah, we'll
for
just
naked Granny at 4 a.m.
Just tell the kids it's skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers.
They don't need to know that Granny's a nudist and she just roams in the middle of the night and she's hunched over and just... Alright.
Right, okay. Back to the story? Right,
Yeah, I'm good. Back to the story.
As a kid, I was... now I can't get naked grandma out of my head.
I don't think any of us are going to get naked grandma out of our head on the reservation now. Alright, let's try and get through this.
As a kid, I was told it was taboo to think about skinwalkers, because it can still call their attention. That's when the shit really hit the fan. Just as I was settling in and finally getting relaxed for sleep, I started to hear something moving outside. I get up from the couch and start wandering over to the kitchen window.
Thank you, Grandma.
In the trailer, all of the rooms had lights. Light out so that the only visible light that can be seen is the porch light out front. I was thankful for this because I told myself it couldn't really be skinwalkers outside. Then hopefully it wouldn't notice me seeing it. Oh, if it really was a skinwalker outside, it wouldn't notice me seeing it. Grandma.
Yeah.
So I mustered up the courage to take a quick scan of outside from the porch. The only light, the porch light, all I could see was the dusty ground and a vehicle that my family drove, along with some old metal trash cans that stood beside the road. Looking for about 5 seconds, I was able to see everything, so I was getting ready to turn around and walk back to bed, thinking it could just be a stray cat or something outside. Only having taken 2 steps, I could hear what sounded like a distorted scream coming from outside, definitely close by. Fear rising, I looked outside again, and there I see it. Naked Grandma. Doesn't really say naked grandma.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Should do.
It should, it really should, because we now all know that's really how this story goes.
Now we're really going to see Skinwalkers and we're all going to be like, oh.
Yeah, we're going to be like, shit, we made fun of Skinwalkers and they saw this YouTube video and were like, those guys, Monkey and Crimson, we're coming for them.
That's right.
They got on their, they connected in their Navajo reservation into the Wi-Fi on their computers and they watched my YouTube channel. And look, subscribe and like and share before you come and get us.
That's right.
Tell all your Skinwalker friends about Monkey Magic Gaming. Plug.
Good plug.
Good plug.
All right.
The Skinwalker community.
Less plug, more scary story.
More scary story.
Okay, coyote-like figure. What?
Why are they always coyote-like?
Not supposed to be wolves and other stuff.
Yeah, I know. Like crows and stuff as well. And like dog-like. Like I guess coyotes are dog-like.
Anyway.
Yeah.
A coyote-like figure was staring in my direction from behind the cars, just outside of the reach of the porch light. Only it looked awfully wrong. It gave off an evil vibe just from seeing it. It was grey, with very dishevelled hair and a horrific orange-red soft glow coming from its eyes. I knocked the hell out of there and ran back to the bedroom. It was at that moment I had begun to also notice an awful stench in the air. It smelled like rotting meat. I started trying to wake up my mom, who was like, "Oh my god, it's almost 3 a.m. What do you want?" I immediately began in a shaking voice, "There's something scary outside." Then she said, now annoyed because I woke her up, "Oh, it's probably just stray animals or something. It's a res. Animals wander all the time at night." She's obviously getting the drift that I was saying, so I screamed, "There's some Blair Witch Project shit going on outside, Ma." That got her attention. "What? What the hell are you talking about?" she asked. Then we heard it. The thing outside started making more of a dreadful like screams and started what sounded like thrashing outside on the ground. "Hear that? What? Oh, sorry, wrong voice. Hear that? That's what I'm talking about." So both her and I got up and looked outside the window, and a coyote-like thing making its way to the door. It walked with an odd limp and dragged its right leg as if it was handicapped. We could hear it start to scratch against the door and make an odd, muffled moaning sound. "Let your grandma back inside. I've locked myself out."
She's just locked herself out there. Well, nude. She's got a walking stick and like she's gotten lost out there. She's screaming and yelling out for them to let her back in, and none of them are listening to her. And they're going, "It's a coyote." And she's like, "I don't look that bad."
Classic grandma.
Classic grandma.
Locked outside with no clothes.
No clothes and your walking stick and howling at the moon like a coyote. Alright.
My mum went and got Dad, and they both started shouting in Navajo, all sorts of words, telling the thing to go away, and saying it's not welcome here. Well, all this commotion was enough to get the rest of the trailer up. They came out into the hallway. The only thing my mum did was turn to them and said, "Skinwalker," while proceeding to point at the door. Noises still happening. Apparently, they already know exactly what to do, as my grandfather got his handgun from the drawer and a bag of ashes. He coated a few bullets and loaded them into his gun and went straight for the door, yelling out in Navajo. That was too fast for me to comprehend. He slung open the door and fired twice. Nothing.
Well, probably nothing would happen. You put a bunch of ash on your bullets, it's probably clogged up the gun. Stop the guns. All that ash in it.
I've lost my track.
Sorry.
Nothing. Yeah, cool. The thing managed to escape before Grandpa could put a bullet in. Then, the fastest thing I've ever seen. That was the fastest thing I've ever seen, said Grandpa. Next thing you know, my aunts and my parents are freaking out about what's happened, saying stuff like, "What if it comes back tomorrow?" and "It saw us." Apparently, it saw us. What does this mean? We're targets now? Afterwards, my grandparents calmed everyone down, myself included, saying, "We'll be fine." And we all went to bed. Just straight back to bed.
Straight back to bed,
Just
that's fine.
Scary
Grandma
animal.
just came through the back door, threw her
That's
clothes
right.
back on, and went, "It's fine, kids, it's fine."
Yeah,
Yeah, my own son tried to shoot me with a gun at one point. That's fine. I ran back through the side door and got back in the house.
scariest thing we've ever seen. Straight back to bed.
Straight back to bed, not
No.
staying up all night. You all just saw a skinwalker. You all visually saw it, and you're just like, "All right, that's dealt with. It's not going to come back."
No,
Like,
definitely
no,
not.
I don't know about you. Like in horror movies, the thing after they've like tried to scare it off that one time, it never comes back.
That's right. You've only seen one. Now everybody's thinking about skinwalkers.
Yeah.
Like, they're supposed to come if you think about them. Now
Exactly. Now everyone's
talking.
seen one. They're all talking about it, see it, and then going to sleep and dreaming about that. Like, no, it's fine. Let's just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like,
Straight back to bed.
straight back to bed. Nothing could happen.
Grandpa and his now ashy shotgun.
Yeah.
Or pistol.
Like,
Anyway, they've all gone back to bed. What happens when they go back to bed?
yeah.
Morning comes. Great. My grandparents call one of their neighbours and explain what happened to them. Apparently, one of them was a medicine man who used to partake in the Yibi cheese. I'm sorry if you Navajo, that is terrible. Navajo ceremonies used for healing and curing sickness. And came over to bless each family member and the grounds outside. Today, I'm very convinced that what I saw was a skinwalker. I still plan on going back for visits to the family.
Why would you? Sorry. Why would you?
But I don't get it myself. I'm very convinced what I saw was a skinwalker. I still plan on going back for visits to the family and the Northern Navajo Nation there. Fun stuff. I just admittedly hope that I never have such an awful experience like that again.
I'd admittedly hope that too, as opposed to not admittedly hoping that.
Yeah. I was like, they all went back to bed.
I know, but they went back to bed. Like, they're crazy. Like, Grandma's out there. Grandpa's trying to shoot Grandma with, like, ash bullets that couldn't fire because he's sticking ash in his, like, probably, like,
Yeah, his
Colt.
magazine just like had to just load him up in his pistol like
his
one.
old, like, Colt rifle, probably. Like, just, like, trying to, like,
So he just spin it open and just
spin it
load it
open.
with
Just
ashy
ash
bullets.
is just hitting him in the face and he's wondering why it can't fire. Grandma just running out there crazy. Like, she's had a bit of potato. She's just done a bit of weed and she's out there just enjoying herself in the moonlight, and then her husband's trying to shoot her.
Like that this person immediately went to Skinwalker,
Yeah.
even though it didn't change at all. It was just a very unfortunate coyote-like thing.
Yeah, so even if this wasn't, like, we're making lots of jokes about this was Grandma, but let's be honest. It's just a coyote came by and
Yeah.
this kid freaked out and told his whole family.
Mhm.
And it was just a coyote freaking out and howling at the moon and stuff. And then the grandpa went out there to shoot it, which freaked it out more. And then everyone went crazy because of that.
Yeah. Just sounds like a coyote that had something wrong with its leg.
Yeah.
If you worry about the smell of rotty meat, I'd say it's probably a messed up leg that for some reason this coyote
It's got like gangrenous or something, and it's just like, oh. Yeah. Well, look, I actually did enjoy how that one was told, like, and it made me laugh a lot, which I don't think that was the purpose of it, but because it made me laugh, and I did enjoy the story, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 boos.
I think I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 boos as well, just because I think while we made fun of it, it may not have been necessarily a Skinwalker story, but I liked that it sort of brought that fear of something unknown creeping around outside and you're the only one that knows about it.
Yeah.
I give it 4 out of 5. Not 5 because it's still just this coyote in the middle of the night.
Your high school cheerleader voice as the mum kind of undertoned the moment, but I did love that voice. I just pictured like this 16-year-old who somehow has a kid and stuff in like high school and like, what's up guys? I totally can't even.
I can't even go out there.
I can't even go out there.
No, there's so many coyotes.
So many skinwalkers. Can't even, guys.
They're gonna wreck my nails.
Oh my god, I've got cheer practice on Monday. Alright. Well, we need more shots for the next story. So, more shots. Alright. New shot. Oi, let's be gentlemen. He didn't want the sugar.
No, correct.
He didn't want the sugar, and I told him he wasn't man enough unless he had the sugar. Real men take their sugar. Alright? He's scared of the sugar, not the shot, the sugar around the shot.
There's a lot of sugar.
It's not that much. Alright, it's a bit of sugar, but still. Don't be a girl, Lars. Be a man, have your sugar. Oh. Alright. Into story number 3. Skinwalker story number 3. Alright, what's story number 3? Grandma's Forest. Alright, I think I have a theory about skinwalkers. I think they're all someone's grandma.
Almost definitely.
They're all someone's grandma, just running about, or mistaken coyotes. That's all skinwalkers are.
Oh, grandma.
Grandma's running around. This one's literally called Grandma's Forest. Like, alright, let's get into it. Let's judge it, not before we've seen it. Alright. I was spending a month with my cousins, grandma. It was August, and my cousins' ages ranged from 10 to 15, and I was the oldest, being 15. I figured as much because they ranged 10 to 15, so...
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a long way to range.
I was staying with a 10, 13, and 14-year-old. We stayed up telling scary stories often. But one night, a few weeks in, we decided to make a campfire out back. My grandma's house is in a rural suburb. The neighbours aren't too far when you're driving down the road to her house. But in the backyard, it's thick forest, with man-made paths through it. Each house is on a hill, so only part of the basements was actually underground. So, lost where I was? But it isn't important until later though. Alright, so you're telling us something that's going to be important down the road.
Cool. Some underground, but not all.
So, we're towards the east side of her yard, in the smallish patch of open land. You couldn't see the neighbour's yard from there, and there was probably 3/4 a mile to each side of us that belonged to my grandma. Okay, so far so good.
Again, units of measurement we don't use.
Yeah, units of measurement we don't understand. Only us and 2 other third world countries, only the US and 2 other third world countries understand.
Good, important.
Yes, everyone else uses proper measurements. Well, proper to us. Get into that. Alright, it was maybe 11 at night and we were playing Truth or Dare after telling scary stories. Why are like 10-year-olds and all that? Like, I don't know about you. When I was 10, I had to like be in bed by like 8.
Like, I think I got to Rome until I was, or didn't get to Rome until I was about 12.
Yeah, like these are like...
And then someone decided we're going to do Ouija boards and I went, boo! No thank you, no Ouija boards for
No Ouija boards for cruising.
No Ouija boards for crimson. Negative. Out of there.
Out of there. Alright. Alright, where was I? I lost where I was at. Alright. We're telling scary stories. And my 14-year-old cousin dared me and my 13-year-old to go walk through the paths for 10 minutes or so. I said yes right away. Oh my god, I was not that brave at 15. I'd been like, hell no, I'm going back to sleep, you crazies. It's past my bedtime already. Alright. As I wasn't easily scared and rather level-headed, but my younger cousin was a bit more hesitant. We didn't bring a flashlight because it wasn't pitch black dark yet, alright? It's weird. And we could see enough to not die. What? We could see enough to not die.
I feel like that should have been obvious. Like,
So it's 11 o'clock at night, and they're like, nah, it's not dark enough yet that we won't die without a flashlight. Like, we'll be right.
Another 10 minutes though.
Another
Dead.
10 minutes, dark. We'll die in that
Absolutely
darkness.
dead.
Absolutely
All of a
dead. All right. These are some really not morbid, like 15 to 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
All right. We were walking through the pass for about 5 minutes and could barely see the fire through the trees when we decided to turn. In the middle of the path was a large dog-like creature, hunched over with its front hands an inch from the ground. What I remember most was how its eyes were so fucking bright white. Wow, this is some profanity.
What's your profanity?
I get it's not probably a 15-year-old writing this. Still.
I like that it has dog hands specifically.
Yeah, with fucking bright eyes. And it was humanoid dog-shaped with a human-like head but a dog-like body, but human hands and feet. I thought it had dog-like hands and feet.
So, I'm already lost.
Yeah, I'm lost. All right. What I remember most was how its eye... Oh, sorry. It looked right at us, and I know I was paralyzed with fear as it dashed away in the opposite way from us, towards a creek that ran through the yard. Eventually, my cousin and I, scared bloody effing murder, and the other cousins and my grandma ran to us. I don't remember much here because I was really disorientated and I couldn't think properly, but I did wake up in bed, so I assumed that I was brought up to the house. All the kids slept in the basement. It was a big room with sliding glass doors to the outside, as the room was on the side that wasn't underground.
Ah, full circle.
Yeah, full circle, back to the little bit at the start. Like sleeping in my parents' bed after like that.
I would not be sleeping at all.
No.
Same as the last story. No sleep.
The kid doesn't even remember getting to the point of sleep. He just like skipped,
Yes.
like just did a quick skip ahead,
Yeah.
like skipped the cutscene and went straight to bed.
Straight to bed.
All right.
Not past go.
My bed was pressed against a big glass window, and I could see my cousins playing outside down below. So after all that, the cousins just went, "Yep." Like he literally passed out, brought him back, and they said they saw this, but we'll just go out and keep playing. Like at this point, it's like probably almost midnight. But no, let's just
Right up against the window.
yeah, right up against.
Good go.
My cousins were all sitting on a double bed opposite me on the other side of the room. There was one bunk bed and two double beds.
Weren't they playing outside?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Oh well. Alright. The double beds for me and my 14-year-old cousin. They were being quiet and staring at me. The 13-year-old nodded his head, and towards the window I froze. They all looked afraid. I turned my head slightly to the side and saw a really messed up looking face pressed to the window, with gaping eyes looking down at me. I screamed so fucking loud, and it bolted. My grandma called the police after, and I told her what happened, and they found nothing. I went home after that, and I've never been there during the night again. Alright.
I feel like there's a better one.
Yeah.
I feel like we got more of the skin changey,
Yeah, like it was,
doggy.
like its hands changed from dog ones to human ones. Like I feel like there wasn't a mistake in the story. Like it was just like
artistic no artistic impression there. Just
Yeah, it
what
was just-
really happened.
yeah, what really happened. Like it didn't feel like it was just this well-winded, worded story. It actually felt more pure and like gritty and real.
Mm.
And they went straight into like swearing every left, right, and center they wanted to.
That's right. I felt like it was more of a. That one's slightly scarier than Mangled Up Coyote or
I know
I
we
Was in a Bus.
I know we rated the last one like 4 out of 5, but I feel like this one still is a 4 out of 5. I don't think it's hit that 5 yet.
Yeah,
I feel like that needs to hold off. We can't just be giving out 5s in the first. I think we've been going too far with these 4s.
Yeah.
Like
maybe
maybe
more down one, maybe.
like 4.2. Give that a 4.2. So it's like someone chopped off a ghost's hand. It's like got 4 boos and an arm.
And a little bit.
And a little bit, like a little
Yeah.
like skinwalker arm.
Mm.
All right. Well, we got one more story to go, but before we do that, we need more drinks. All right. We have more drinks. And I feel like this has more sugar than it's ever had before.
There's
oh my god.
now like
That's like an extra layer. That's like a donut there. All right.
a half-inch.
Yeah. Wow. We might have to do this gently. We might lose some of this sugar from that. All right. Get into it. Oh, sugary goodness.
That's some good stuff.
I have diabetes now.
Good job, Mrs. Monkey.
Oh god.
Woof.
Oh, my wife has made me have diabetes now. She's gonna have to deal with all that in the future. All right.
I think I lost my finger already. So.
Yeah, it's starting to lose limbs. There's actually no feet under here. They're just fallen off due to all the sugar. All right, into the final story of this first episode of Here for the Booze.
This one should be good because it starts with mine and my father's Skinwalker experience.
And they say father different too.
No.
No, they say oh, okay.
Dad is still dad.
Dad is still not dud.
No.
Okay,
not
dude. Dude. My dude. Okay, sorry.
Dude.
We're getting sidetracked here. We have had 5 shots at this point, so off we go.
Off we go. Ooh. Should be bringing it full circle. My father owns a small delivery service that operates just outside of Farmington.
Oh, back in Farmington.
Back in Farmington again.
Oh.
We mostly deliver small packages out of the middle of nowhere that are too much of a hassle for the larger delivery companies to bother with. My dad is the only employee, and we have a few pickup trucks and a trailer. One day, we get a delivery out of Widow Rock on a Navajo reservation, about 2 hours from Farmington. My dad gets the call about the job whilst he is chilling with one of his Navajo friends, Travis, and his girlfriend. Travis mentions how he's got family in Widow Rock and that he hasn't seen them in ages and suggests that they go with him. I was about 6 or 7 at the time and it was summertime, so Dad decided we'll go down together. He can do the delivery really quickly. Then, while Travis sees his family, we can go check out Widow Rock. It's a big rock face with a large hole in it that goes to the other side. It's pretty cool. We had a convoy in separate trucks since Dad's wasn't loaded down with freight. We decided to bring along some talkie-talkies. Like walkie-talkies?
Yeah, I imagine that. I think they do actually call them talkie-talkies in the US. Oh, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Talkie-talkies.
Talkie-talkies.
So we could communicate with one another. We spent our time in Widow Rock. Everything is generally uneventful, and we start heading home along the old highway, my dad and I front. It's supposed to be me and Dad in front, but that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about proper English. Listen to you, Mr. Proper English over here.
And Travis and his girlfriend in the truck behind us. I honestly don't remember most of the Widow Rock trip, but this next part I will never forget. Grandma.
Naked grandma.
She's coming up.
Full circle.
Yeah.
It's actually one grandma.
Yeah.
It's just running through all these areas, like freaking out kids left, right, and center.
With a walkie stick.
With a walkie stick and her hairy feet and arms and hunched back.
Coming out of the grandma's forest.
Yep, the damn grandma's forest.
Okay.
Eating her own dogs and such.
We're somewhere on the highway between Widow Rock and Gallup, New Mexico. It had just rained earlier in the day and the road was still kind of slick. So we're taking it pretty slow. On the left of the highway there is nothing but sandstone cliffs. And on the right there is a huge field, separated from the road by a small barbed wire fence. We crest the top of the hill and down at the bottom of the hill we see what appears to be a very large dog sitting on its back haunches in the middle of the road, facing the cliffs. My dad calls over the radio, "Hey Trav, do you see that big ass dog?" give him an Australian accent.
Yep.
Hey, Trav,
Hey, Trav!
you see that big ass dog?
What do you want, Bruce? Sorry, continue.
Travis started yelling back over the radio, that's not a dog. Speed up right now and hit it. He sounded almost hysterical. He just kept screaming, hit it. JJ, you have to hit it. I don't know, I guess this is the dad's initials.
Yeah, we didn't learn that his name was JJ, so this is...
His name is JJ.
JJ was in the back, new character.
Hit it, JJ.
Hit it, JJ, okay!
Hit it, JJ. You have to hit it. Please, please, hit that fucking thing right now. So my dad starts to speed up.
Like a different kind of story now.
Hit it. So we start to speed up, and we get a bit closer. I can begin to see it a little more clearly. It's covered in this brown, wiry, matted hair that appears to have some dried blood all over it. It sits facing the cliff, but the moment the headlights hit it, it turns and looks at us. And it has a face. I don't know how else to describe it other than a mix between a bear and a human face. It looks twisted and distorted and almost in pain. As we get closer to the thing, we start to realize it's actually fucking huge. Yeah.
Yeah, well...
Got my dramatic voice
I
on
know,
there.
this is getting good. I'm liking this story.
Though it's still sitting on its haunches, it's about shoulder height with the hood of the trunk. Shoulder height with the hood of the trunk. Oh, I get it. Like the dog's shoulders or all the dog's
Oh, the shoulder dog was at the hood of the truck, so that's pretty big.
That's a high dog.
Yeah, that's like a
really
greyhound or something. Like a big dog.
Big dog. We get literally inches from hitting it when it lets out a scream that sounds like someone screaming as their lungs are filled with water, and it leaps backwards towards a field landing just on the side of the barbed wire fence. With another leap, it's gone from sight. Travis comes over the radio again. Holy shit, keep driving. We have to get out of here. We have to go faster. He kept repeating the last part. We have to go faster. We have to get out of here. We have to go faster. Pretty soon, we're speeding like crazy. Just as we start to come near the outskirts of Gallup, we get pulled over. The officer immediately... Sorry. Oops. Travis pulls his truck over with us. Naturally, this makes the cop... naturally, it's a man... This makes the cop, a Navajo man himself, very on edge, and immediately asked why Travis felt the need to pull over as well.
Because they're driving together.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you're driving with your mate or something, they get pulled over by the cops, you're like, well, I'm driving with them, I'll wait as well.
Yeah, don't pull your car up behind a cop. Just don't do it. Pull up further up the road.
Yeah, maybe, you're
don't
right.
Pull up behind a cop, they'll get real freaked out.
Yeah, that's probably a bad idea. I didn't even
PSA
think about that.
from Monkey Crimson, don't pull your car behind a cop on the
this,
side of the road.
The more you know.
Alright, the cop immediately asks, I've screwed this all up, why Travis felt the need to pull over as well. Travis says, we just saw a skinwalker a few miles back and it's been following us. The officer immediately turns white, stammers something about a verbal warning, gets in his car and takes off. We do the same. We didn't see anything else that night, but when we got home, Travis refused to let us leave without taking some kind of Navajo totem with us. This was supposed to keep the thing away. End of story.
Okay. Well, weirdly, the two things I've gathered from that story is that skinwalkers sound like they're gargling water.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it sounds like they're screaming while gargling water. They're like, all right. So what are we gonna rate that out of? I don't know. I feel like we've been giving away too many good ratings, but these have actually been really decent stories. Like, I've actually been really impressed with these. Like, they haven't been like lazy or they've been well told. and well written. So I think this deserves a 4 as well. Like, I don't think it's up to that 5 point yet, because I think that needs to be something like out of this world, like really something that actually chills me, gives me like goosebumps.
You need it to be like completely pitch black, and you hear it and know it's there, and then like
You flash the light and it's gone.
And people start disappearing, and you don't know where they've gone. Once you get that goosebumps, that heart pumping.
Yeah, I like that.
But I definitely got into this one.
This was a good one. This was good.
Yeah, as you can tell from the reading, it got a little bit more involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was good. I'm going to give it 4.3.
4.3, so like what, an arm and a hand?
Just like a shuckers.
Little shuckers, yeah. I know.
Right.
I've liked these stories for this first episode. I didn't know much about Skinwalkers for tonight, and I know we may have like made jokes here and there, but these have been all true stories, and they've all been really interesting and really well told, and I've enjoyed us both talking about it and listening to it, and made fun here and there. But these have been really well done stories. But yes, that's the end of episode 1. Stay tuned to when we upload episode 2. But for us, it's only going to be a few moments before we kick into episode 2. So, but until next time, guys. Bye!